Reiner Fullmich. We spoke together just now, and I wanted to sum up what you said about your action and the other lawyers you know and you work with. So to sum it up, you said that you made something in Canada and in Germany, and now there's something in South Africa and in India. Could you just give us the main things about what's going on now with these complaints and with courts and with...
Yeah, well, this is a more or less a side effect of our work on the Corona Investigative Committee, because after we had learned all these important truths from all those witnesses, Dr. Mike Yeadon, formerly of Pfizer, Professor Luc Montagnier, France, Catherine Austin Fitz, a former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development in the United States, Dr. Robert Malone, who invented the mRNA vaccine technique. After we got all these experts to testify or to agree to an interview with us, many lawyers from all over the world got in touch with us and told us, well, what are you going to do with that?
When was it?
It started very early on, in September or October of 2020. This is also when I first learned through one of the experts that the PCR test can't tell you anything about infections, and when we realized this is a staged pandemic. And that's when we got in touch with these lawyers, or they got in touch with us. My firm filed 4, 5, 6 lawsuits based on the PCR test in Germany, because we think that attacking this whole thing at its foundation is extremely important. We cannot attack it on the basis of wrongful treatment or that the measures are not proportionate. If you do that, you all of a sudden have fallen into their trap and agree to their narrative, because then you agree that there is a pandemic, but there isn't. The only basis is for any of these measures, including the vaccines, is the PCR test. Without a PCR test and without the other lie, which is there are asymptomatic infections, this whole thing would never have happened. So as a result of what we learned, we put together our own lawsuits, but we also helped those international colleagues who got in touch with us, got them in touch with our experts. And for example, the one lawsuit that was filed a couple of weeks ago, but this is only after many months of work had gotten into this, had been put into this, is in South Africa. Their constitutional court seems to be independent.
That's the main thing. It seems to be independent and not corrupt.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we're dealing with in most of Europe. We have a totally corrupt judiciary, which doesn't mean that all of them get paid for not doing their job, but it's part of their having a career. If they don't stay in line with the government, that's the end of their career. So we can't trust our own judiciaries. We have to set up our own new legal systems, just as we have to set up our own new system of economics or education or healthcare, for that matter. But the lawsuits are important for two reasons. One, we want to show the people that it can be done, that we have real lawyers, a real judge, real experts, and real witnesses who will testify, in particular in that one suit that's going to start in a week from now.
So in a week?
Yeah, it's a model lawsuit so that people understand, all over the world, understand that we have to take this, we have to take our fate into our own hands. We have to create our own judiciary. And this lawsuit is still with one foot in the old system, because we're making use of something that's known from the old system. It's a grand jury investigation. But the next step, after we get the indictments, is going to be a real trial that is being done by the people for the people. In our new system, we already have people working on this in the United States, on the continent of Africa, and I think in pretty much all of the other places as well. But more important is to give the people the whole picture through a legal proceeding, so that they can make up their own minds, and it's being supported by real experts, not the idiots who've been paraded in front of in the television talk shows lately.
And about India, you told me about India. Could you just repeat what you told me? That there was...
India is as far ahead of us. They seem to have a and maybe this is also true for some of the Eastern European countries. But India is definitely far less corrupt than our judiciary. The system seems to be still functioning. In fact, it's functioning so well that our colleagues there have filed a criminal complaint against Bill Gates for murder. And if worse comes, this is a couple of weeks ago. And it's being dealt with. It's being taken very seriously. And if worse comes to worse for him, he's facing the death penalty. I'm not in favor of the death penalty, but they have their own system.
And you told me also that in 2017, the Indian government exposed Bill Gates. That was right, because journalists told me that it was a fake news. And
no, it's true.
Tell me it's
true. And now the follow-up is the judicial proceeding against him, the criminal trial.
And tell me again, how many lawyers are working with you now?
We're the core group of lawyers who are going to present all the evidence is 20, maybe 30.
20 to
but
30.
There's more people coming in. Just today we have joined forces with a group of 40 lawyers from Luxembourg and another group of 100 or so from France. There's more coming in from Italy. This is only the start of a huge movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Reiner. And
You're
now
very
we're going
welcome.
to the demonstration.
Yeah, we're going to show the people that we're fighting with them.
Exactly.
Yes.